In the narrative of the Nissan GT Academy, the motorsport division of Nissan launches a groundbreaking initiative to identify talented players of the racing simulator Gran Turismo and transform them into real racing drivers. This innovative concept is introduced following a pitch by marketing executive Danny Moore. To spearhead the training of the selected players, Danny recruits the expertise of Jack Salter, a former driver who has transitioned into a mechanic. Initially hesitant, Jack eventually agrees to take on this new role, driven by his frustration with the arrogance of his team's driver, Nicholas Capa. Amidst this backdrop, the story revolves around Mardenborough, a teenager working at a clothing store in Cardiff, Wales, who harbors a fervent desire to transition from being a gamer to becoming a professional racing driver. Despite facing disapproval from his father, Steve Mardenborough, a former footballer, John remains steadfast in pursuing his dream. The turning point arrives when Jan discovers that he qualifies for a crucial race to join the GT Academy after setting a record time for a specific track. Before the race, Jan attends a party with his brother Kobe and becomes infatuated with a young woman named Audrey. Following an encounter with the police at the gathering, Jan engages in a pursuit after driving away, ultimately leading to a confrontation upon returning home. In an attempt to impart a valuable life lesson, Jan is taken to his father's workplace the next day. He leaves early to participate in the qualifying race, emerging victorious and securing a coveted spot in the GT Academy. This pivotal moment marks the beginning of an inspiring journey for Jan as he embarks on the path to realizing his aspirations in the world of professional racing. At the Academy camp, Jack rigorously tests the competitors, subjecting them to various challenges that ultimately narrow the field from 10 to 5. A pivotal moment occurs when Jan experiences a crash with Jack in the car and asserts that the brakes were glazed, a claim later validated by analysts. Much to Jack's astonishment, 5 contenders engage in a decisive race to determine the representative for Nissan. In a closely contested race, Jan emerges victorious, narrowly outperforming American competitor Matty Davis. However, a debate ensues when Danny advocates for Matty's selection based on commercial viability, only for Jan to be chosen at Jack's insistence. Following this critical phase, Jan receives the directive that securing a position of at least 4th place in a series of qualifying races will lead to the acquisition of a professional license and a contract with Nissan. Despite encountering setbacks, including a collision with Nicholas leading to a last-place finish in his initial professional race in Austria, Jan exhibits gradual improvement in subsequent races. However, an unfortunate outcome unfolds as he fails to finish the penultimate race in Spain. The narrative reaches a climactic juncture as Jan journeys to Dubai for his final qualifying race, where a dramatic turn of events transpires. During the race, Nicholas's reckless maneuver leads to a crash, resulting in debris cracking Jan's windshield. Undeterred by the adversity, Jan perseveres and clinches a 4th-place finish, ultimately earning his professional license. On a significant trip to Tokyo, accompanied by Danny and Jack to formalize his contract with Nissan. Additionally, Jan utilizes his signing bonus to facilitate Audrey's travel to Tokyo, marking the inception of their relationship during this pivotal period. Jan's post-contract debut race at the Nürburgring Nordschleife takes a harrowing turn as his car becomes airborne at the Flugplatz corner, leading to a collision with a barrier and a subsequent launch into a crowded spectator area. This tragic incident results in Jan being airlifted to the Nürburgring Medical Center, where he receives the devastating news that a spectator lost their life in the crash, leaving him overwhelmed with guilt and reluctance to continue racing. In a poignant moment, Jack accompanies Jan back to the Nürburgring and shares his own experience of being involved in a fatal accident at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which led to the loss of a fellow driver and his subsequent retirement from driving. Uri absolves Jan of any wrongdoing, but a shift in professional sentiment emerges against simulation drivers. In response to this challenge, Danny orchestrates the formation of the same driver team to compete at Le Mans, to finish on the podium, to demonstrate their viability. So this pivotal decision leads to the enlistment of Matty and fellow GT Academy participant Antonio Cruz, forming the three-driver team alongside Jan. On the day of the race, Jan's father extends a heartfelt apology for his initial lack of support for Jan's aspirations. As the race unfolds, Jan encounters further trials, including witnessing a competitor's car crash and catch fire. However, he receives encouragement during his shift from Jack, who plays Songbird and Orinoco Flow through the car's communication system, serving as a source of motivation reminiscent of his training. While Matty and Antonio successfully complete their initial shifts, Antonio faces challenges due to cramps and is brought in from his last session early. A setback occurs in the pit area when a wheel nut comes loose, causing Jan to lose several positions. Undeterred, Jan deviates from advised racing lines learned from Gran Turismo to regain his positions, ultimately breaking the competition lap record. The climactic final lap sees Jan pitted against Nicholas, with Jan narrowly securing third place on the final straight, culminating in a triumphant podium finish for Nissan. This remarkable achievement serves as a testament to the skill and resilience of the sim driver team, dispelling doubts about their capabilities in the world of professional racing.